that day will be our brother Abu Abdullah Ismail, and it'll be at 4:15. It'll be at 4:15. The third talk, which is our brother Mahmoud Abdullah. From my understanding, that talk was canceled. And this is the brother Mahmoud Abdullah. For those who are unaware, this is Mahmoud ibn Ibrahim out of New York. He's a da'i in New York. And his father was one of the pioneers, for lack of better expressions, as it relates to Salafiyya in that area, I believe in the Bronx or Brooklyn, one of those BR cities that began with BR. For those that are out of New York, you guys know exactly where he's from and thus forth and so on. So that's the schedule for tomorrow, inshallah. The first talk begins at 1:30, inshallah, second at 4:15, and then the last at 7:30. Now, tafaddal, ya Aba Hassan Muhammad Jones. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, akhi. Kayf halak?
Alhamdulillah, everything's good. How about yourself?
Oh yeah, everything's good.
I'd assume you have some kind words for us, huh?
Oh yeah, I just be tuning in to you brothers a lot, and I like what you brothers is doing. I'm down in the Tennessee area. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Walillah alhamd. You're in Tennessee. What part of Tennessee, akhi?
Memphis.
Where?
In Memphis.
Memphis. Okay, mashallah.
Yeah,
Is there any how's the Dawah down that way?
It's not too many brothers that know about the Dawah down there. You know how the South is kind of slow to the Dawah. I'm originally from Michigan, Flint, Michigan, and I moved to Tennessee in 2019. The Dawah is strong though in Flint, Michigan though.
Mashallah, mashallah. You know, I heard there's a masjid out that way, but the only thing about Flint, Michigan is the water issue. I would imagine that the brothers would probably want to get out of there, correct? Or is the water still?
Yeah, the water's still messed up, and a lot of brothers has branched out. A lot of brothers moved to Columbus, and a lot of brothers moved to down to the Georgia area. But there's still a few brothers that's still up there.
Okay. Well, fuckahumullah.
I think you was in you and Abdul Salam was in Egypt with a brother from Flint, Michigan, a brother named Muhammad Abdul Sabur.
Yeah, I know Muhammad Abdul Sabur, light-skinned brother, right?
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's a good friend. I haven't talked to him in a while.
He's doing well. He's in Medina now.
Yeah, he was one of the good balanced brothers, mashallah.
Yeah.
From what I know of him and remember of him, he's one of the balanced brothers. Walillah alhamd.
Yeah, he told me that you and the brother he knew y'all from Egypt.
So how's he doing?
He's doing well now. He's over in Medina.
Okay, convey my salam to him. He got in contact with me maybe a year ago or longer than that via WhatsApp, if I'm not mistaken, or somehow.
Okay.
But you know how things are, man. Sometimes we become real busy, and you kind of lose contact. You know how that goes, unfortunately.
Right. But yeah, alhamdulillah, he's doing well though. Yeah, we communicate just about every few weeks on the Telegram app. But I definitely would give the brother your salams.
Barakallahu feek. So have you been to Egypt, or you never been out the States?
No, I haven't been out the States yet.
Now, brothers and sisters, you have to excuse me as well. I am feeling some slight symptoms of what appears to be a flu. I had a sore throat. I can't even say it was a sore throat. It was like a tingling feeling in the throat, but that has since subsided. But now I'm feeling slight chills, so I took a real warm bath and I took some things, and the slight chills went away, but they seem like they're coming back. That's why I have this thermal jacket on, even though it's over 70 degrees in my house.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I have a question too, Aki. Like, far as like brothers that's like du'as and stuff that's around now, but they're known to be on the Dawah. How do you feel about like the brothers taking on the title as shaykh now?
I mean, it really comes down to it really comes down to what's intended by shaykh, because the word shaykh, unfortunately, when we're here in the States, people tend to view the word or understand the word to mean alim, meaning
Mhm.
scholar.
Mhm.
And sheikh it actually has more than one meaning. And so, like for instance, a person who reaches the age of 50, he's a sheikh. Or the chief of a tribe is a sheikh.
Okay.
Or somebody of prominence and or influence and esteem within a society could be considered a sheikh. A person who is highly respected amongst the community, even if he's a youngster, can be considered a sheikh or called a sheikh. So it really comes down to what's intended by that. I think that here in the West, because generally speaking, the people are used to and understand one meaning. When you find certain individuals use it, people understand that one meaning, alim, scholar, and like this. And certain groups of people, I'm not saying all, but certain groups of people, I believe they're exploiting that. They're exploiting that in order to raise themselves above their level and their station. But generally speaking, sheikh has multiple meanings. So it's not, it really isn't an issue unless ill intent is behind it.
Oh, okay. Alhamdulillah.
What I would say to you, being in Tennessee, well, give me 1 second. Then I was making some tea. Give me 1 second, inshallah.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Akhi.
Oh yeah, no problem.
My wife is upstairs doing damage control with my son, right? How that goes.
Right.
But anyway, what I was about to say is that with you being in Tennessee, I would advise that you employ wisdom in calling the people to the Dawah, and that you don't present the Dawah in a way to people that is a means to chase them away. Like the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Bashiru wala tunaffiru, to the end of his statement. Yani, give glad tidings and don't chase people away. A lot of times we've been reared due to a hizb that claims or have hijacked the term Salafi. We've been taught in a wrong manner how we deal with Muslims who are not Salafi. And to a large degree, a lot of brothers seem to have an attitude that there is an absolute hatred for Muslims who are not upon the Dawah, and thus for so on, based off this corrupt tarbiyah. And so for that reason, brothers will go into communities and deal with brothers and sisters in a haphazard manner that didn't produce any benefit, nor did it bring anyone close. I remember when I went to, I lived in Alabama since 2013 to 2018. And when I went to that community, they have been affected by a group of people that were haphazard in that manner. And so they were, a lot of them were totally turned off from Salafi anything. They didn't properly understand Salafiyah. And what they thought of Salafiyah was people who were harsh, ill-mannered, intolerant, and things of that nature. So these individuals who mixed with them, they didn't produce the maslahah that Islam, in which the underlying goal of Islam encourages. Why? Because they dealt with the people inappropriately. And so that can be our fruit. It can either be, our fruits can be negative or they can be positive. They're going to be negative if we step to the people trying to produce a maslahah, but we don't do it in the manner in which the legislation permits in order for that maslahah to be obtained. We'll just do more harm than good. Or we could come in the proper and correct way, because you can go to basically most non-Salafi masjids where the people are just common folks And it's not one set minhaj in the place, and a lot of people are affected by a lot of different things. So you're going to see many mistakes, many mistakes. But from what we're taught and how we're trained, يعني بدأ بالأهم فالأهم, that we start with that which is most important. And that's usually correcting the the creed of the brothers and sisters in whatever locality that we're in. So the main point that I'm making, especially on account of what you said concerning the condition of the people in that locality, is that the brother, meaning yourself, you have to exhibit some wisdom. You have to exhibit some patience. You can't be the type of person that tells them about a thing and then expect them to understand and get it the same night, especially if they've been doing whatever it is they've been doing for X amount of years, for X amount of years. When I went to Alabama, I believe I made a good impact on the community. There were some people by the time I left that even, by Allah's permission, affirmed for themselves the Dawah to Salafiyya.
Alhamdulillah.
And now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't many, but there was, a handful that attributed themselves to the Dawah to Salafiyya by the time that I left. And so, when I left in good standing with the community. I'm not in bad standing with that community, And so this is how we have to be to bring about change, because we want good for our brothers and sisters. But unfortunately, you'll find that some people that are affected by this that go beyond bounds as it relates to tajrih or affairs that are directly related to jarh wa ta'adil, those types of people step to Muslims in a haphazard manner, right? And that's because they're misapplying or misappropriating principles and guidelines. So we just have to be mindful of that,
Right. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, because me and another brother. That's how we basically doing the approach. We're not really just coming at them so much with the word Salafiyya, because we don't want to run them off because they might have heard. We just if they say they watch the video or somebody and tell them, no, you know what I'm saying, I don't think you should watch that video, or that person's not a good person to be listening to, because the guy, what's his name, Yasser Qadi, was the imam down there for a long time, and they just got him out of there. He was at the imam at the the Islamic Center down there, so he had his footprint was left all over there. So it is, like I said, it's more or less the African American brothers that we see and that we be around at the masjid, that we just when we see them do certain things or certain stuff, we just ask them, what I'm saying, where you get that from, Maki, or who you heard say that, and then we try to correct them on that. But yeah, we definitely being patient with them brothers, because it is the South. Alhamdulillah, Islam is growing big in Tennessee, but yeah, we're not going to try to be harsh with them. We definitely ain't taking that approach, because we know that approach definitely don't work.
Yeah, well, wafakakum Allah, man. I pray that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala blesses you with success in your efforts. There's a person that's asking a question. It says Flint, Michigan, so I'm assuming this is probably your brother, My question is how to deal with brothers with bad manners that are the imam or brothers that run the masjid.
Oh yeah, I think I know who that brother is. Alhamdulillah.
I would have, generally speaking, if we're speaking on specific individuals, I would have to have more clarity as it relates to what's taking place in the community for me to give a sound response that's specific to that community. But in general, one of the things that I think that could be done is that the fatwa of the ulama, especially those whose dawah produce fruits, like Shaykh Al-Albani, Shaykh bin Baz, Shaykh Uthaymeen, if the fatwa of theirs, as it relates to how they interacted with people, Salafi and non-Salafi, is presented to the brothers that may have harsh, may be harsh and may fall into things that are unbefitting, then I believe that that could be, and Allah knows best, that could be the means to soften their approach. And one of the main problems of why we have people saying and doing, and it causes corruption, is because brothers don't understand when a scholar says something in a general and unrestricted sense. When he basically gives you the hukum on something in a general and unrestricted sense, not applying it to anybody, but he's just speaking generally, and how that hukum is applied when dealing with a specific individual. There's a misunderstanding in that. So I'll give you an example. So a person will come and he says, for instance, a scholar may say, whoever says this is this. That's general. He's not speaking about a specific individual. He's giving a ruling to a statement. However, when you actually see a person doing that, then we don't automatically say that person is what the shaykh said. Why? Because there may be guidelines that are applied in determining that. Like I gave you an example. I did a video recently, and within the video, I think it was the video, You're Salafi Really. It was that video, somewhere in that video, if I'm not mistaken, or it could have been the one after that. I said something to the effect of, when I was giving examples of mistakes that a person may make that's not verified and like this, and how people go beyond bounds with them, I gave an example of you could find a Salafi praise somebody that shouldn't be praised. And next thing you know, he's looked at like this or like that, you know, I mean, basically in a negative manner. It was sent to me an audio of Sheikh Mohammed bin Hadi making a general hukum on a particular individual. Making a general and unrestricted hukum on an individual who may praise an innovator. And he said something to the effect that he praises the innovator due to him, what was the exact wording? He will only praise the innovator due to that which is with the innovator of deviation, something to this effect. He said the person would do that for. Okay, so that's a general and unrestricted hukum. It's not being placed on a specific individual. It's general and unrestricted. But some brothers don't seem to understand you don't take general and unrestricted hukums and apply them to specific individuals easily and in that manner. Because there are guidelines that are looked into before you can say that. Because what then happens if a person who is upon the Sunnah and Salafiyya praise someone who has issues, but he didn't know about those issues he had? So now do we say that his ruling is this or that, or is his Salafiyya still maintained? And see, this is the problem. Some people have a misunderstanding when they hear general and unrestricted rulings of the scholars. They have a misunderstanding as it relates to when they apply that to specific individuals. Certain things have to be looked into. That first and foremost, because if that was the case, we would find that some of the scholars would be considered to be that ruling, that generalized and unrestricted ruling. For instance, at one point, Sheikh Rabi, he was criticizing Yahya al-Hajuri, Sheikh Yahya in Yemen. And then when the siege of Yemen took place, Sheikh Rabi changed his tune and said something different. And said that which between him and Hajuri is done forever, or something to this effect. But he said this while knowing Hajuri had what he had with him. So do we apply whoever praises an innovator is an innovator to Sheikh Rabi? Or is it understood that there was a reason why he did that? There was a situation or a condition that was taking place at the time that caused him to do that, so that the people could understand, look, they need to be supported in this fitna right now. You have the Rafidah trying to uproot them, trying to squash them and stomp them out. So if we understand that yes, in that condition, he did it out of wisdom and like this, then we should understand that these general and unrestricted hukums that scholars say in a general and unrestricted way, you don't apply them to specific individuals unrestrictedly, because there's guidelines that have to be followed in order for you to say something like that. But just this particular issue that I'm making or stating, this seems to be unknown to a lot of the brothers. And it becomes more and more apparent the more you converse with people, talk to people, and see where people's understandings are, unfortunately. And so this type of attitude that people take, it causes problems because it's a haphazard approach. It's an approach that doesn't bring about benefit. And that's and it's an approach that's not in accordance with the text of the Kitab and the Sunnah and the principles derived therefrom. So I'm using this as an example to show and or state that it's the lack of understanding of principles and guidelines that we find this ill-gotten behavior that's exhibited by some people. It's like I said before, it's as if some people have an understanding that hatred, hostility for the people of innovation is in the absolute sense. And from the basis of al-wala wal-bara is that the hatred and hostility for the people of innovation is juz'i, it's partial, it's not absolute. There's somebody else, look like, I thought somebody else was trying to come in, looks like they may have exited the waiting room. I'll put the link in there again for brothers that want to come in.
Yeah, and that brother with that situation, it's more or less like the brother Salafi, the man's just Salafi, but it's just like they really like oppressing the brother, you know. I don't know why they oppressing the brother, but it's like it's been going on, and the brother trying to. I think that's the brother who I think it is. He's trying to figure out a way to resolve the issue.
I would say that if he wants to resolve it, that he give people that the masjid administration respect from those who are people of knowledge to step in and mediate between them. You know, that's probably the best way, because obviously they're not respecting him and his opinion and what he's saying, and that's what for so on.
Right, and he an older brother. You know, I think he might be one of the elders in the community, one of the oldest brothers in the community.
Okay, this is the brother that's being oppressed.
Right now, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and then we have to deal with our elders a little bit better. Unfortunately, there's been some Willie Lynch. There's been some Willie Lynch syndrome type stuff exhibited in that regard, unfortunately. But that would be the advice that I would give to the brother, that whoever they respect in terms of knowledge, that he gets somebody like that involved and they sit down and mediate the issue, because no person that's upon the minhaj of the Salaf should come to the masjid that is under the authority of people that likewise are upon the minhaj of the Salaf and feel like an outsider. Nobody should feel like that. Our problems are not that great. The issues that we have amongst each other are not that big to the point where people start feeling like that. You know, and we have to understand it in that manner. And Allah knows best. Once again, for the people that are tuning in, the episode of Heavyweight Dialogue will be postponed, as the title states. Our brother Sadiq Al-Juyani, he fell ill suddenly. He apologizes for not being able to make it. But of course, everybody can understand why he decided to postpone and why he couldn't make it. Me, myself, personally, like I said, I feel a little under the weather myself, but I don't feel as, what's the word I'm looking for, as affected like he feels. You know, he told me some of the symptoms that he has, and it seems that, you know, he's down for the count right now, and Allah knows best. Our brother Abu Abdullah Ismail, he stated he was going to come in the room when he could. He's handling business, you know, because he does own a business, and so he's handling business right now. I decided to come in the room because we've been on a hiatus for the last 2 weeks, and you know, I didn't want to leave the brothers without, you know, knowing the reasons, and that's what for so on. Sometimes the shaitan can whisper, and next thing you know, people are inventing things. I saw in the comment section in one of our videos, eventually they're going to kick Abu Abdullah Ismail off their program. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Why would we kick our brother off this program? Why would we do that? You know, so some people just come up with all type of stuff. They, you know, some people allow the shaitan to overtake them as it relates to the whispers. We have love. I have nothing but love for my brother Ismail. And the only way that he wouldn't participate in a heavyweight dialogue is if we just stop doing heavyweight dialogues in general, or he himself doesn't want to continue for whatever reason. But as far as I'm concerned, Sadiq and Ismail and myself, you know, those brothers are my dream team. You know, and for lack of better expressions, you know, so now there's somebody that wants to enter the room, react. I'm gonna let them in now, inshallah. So the brother says the fitna is in Flint. Also, this Hizbi has affected the only masjid that calls the Salaf Minhaj. Allah Mustan. Sallallahu al-afiyah wa salama. You guys have Omeysan in Hamtramck. How far is Hamtramck from Flint?
It's not very far. We used to go, I know when I was there, we used to go see go up there all the time. It's probably like around about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but we used to go sit in the brothers' class all the time.
Do the brothers there respect Omeysan's opinion?
I don't think what the brother at right there, I don't think that they do where he's at. I don't think they respect his opinion. You know, they more or less with the other group out of Philadelphia. They got their ties.
Oh, okay. They're with the Hizbis.
Yeah, nah, they with that group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allah Mustan. That's well, that group of people are not about rectification at all.
Right.
So they're, you know, they're not, unfortunately, it's been proven time and time again, those brothers are not about rectification at all. Inshallah, we have some things that are planned that will be coming soon, more Urban Dua Dialogue episodes. And there's a lot of things that I've been telling the brothers that should have been put to the public a long time ago so they could understand the magnitude of treachery that's with these brothers, because they've told me these things in private sittings more than once. And I'm not saying that everything needs to be brought to the public, but there are a lot of things that need to be brought to the public, especially the sitting that took place between Abu Yusuf Khalifa, Abu Muhammad al-Jamaica, Hassan al-Somali, and Sheikh Rabi. There were some things that took place in that meeting that shows and prove that those brothers are not about rectification. Regardless if they scream it at the top of, there was just like 2 hours, somebody sent me some 2-hour audio. Something happened in Philly. I think it's something with the youth or something happened out there, violence or something to this effect. And it was Hassan al-Somali talking for about 2 hours or some change. And then somebody asked him a question concerning Dawah and rectification. And unfortunately, this brother's response was using of ayat to substantiate his agenda. And that agenda was the lack of even attempting to rectify anything with anybody. You know, he was using the ayat to justify not rectifying anything with anybody, in a nutshell. And I'm gonna say this and say this clearly: what Salafi that's traversing upon the methodology of the Salaf, does not want to rectify the mishaps and the splits and the separation between his brothers. What Salafi would ever run away from that? Especially in light of the many evidence that we find concerning the blameworthiness of splitting and separation, and the praiseworthiness of unity, and the obligation of unity. And so that whole answer was one big calamity, and one big saving face, and one big justification to remain upon what those guys have been upon, of splitting and fracturing of the ranks, and thus forth and so on. So then at one point he called it, these brothers, he called the brother asking questions, or brothers that think about, that want rectification, he called them being nostalgic. Allah Mustan. The brother said, one of the brothers says, what did Shaykh Usama Al-Utaybi say recently? Shaykh Usama Al-Utaybi said recently, I'm assuming he's referring to Shaykh Usama Al-Utaybi when he was questioned about the brothers in Germantown and the brothers in Birmingham, UK. He stated clearly, their actions are the actions of the Hizbiyin. And they're either one of two, Jahil Bal, ignorant or straight ignoramuses, or what was the word? Or Hizbiyun. Either straight ignoramuses or Hizbiyun. But I will say this, and it's like I said, there are more things that will come later. He's not the only scholar that referred to those brothers as being a Hizb and having with them Haddadiyya and thus forth and so on. And some of these scholars, and I'm not going to say names now because we're going to present this, properly, inshallah. But some of these scholars said this not off of anything that we brought to them, that brothers, that Jamaica or Khalifa or whoever else brought to them. Some of these scholars made these assessments based off their own investigation as it relates to things that they were doing in the UK and things of that nature. And it's been more than one, it's kind of well known, it's been more than one scholar that has criticized them, and the criticisms have been for the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. And so this is just a reality.